symbols mean something. Anybody who's read the new Dan Brown book probably developed at least a passing interest in symbolism in the icons that we see every day. But let me show you something I find fascinating about two of history's most important icons. Stay with me, this is all going to make sense. Maybe, hopefully today. Maybe someday. Let me show you first. This is a picture of the Collosus of Rhodes. And they didn't have, digital cameras or iPhones in 280 BC. So this is an artist's rendering of what it was. This was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It took 12 years to build. It stood about 107 feet high. I believe that's the height of the Statue of Liberty. It was, you see the boats down here. I mean, you can get a sense of how huge this thing was. We're not sure, but we think that it was in somewhat of a slouched or relaxed position because of the confidence felt by the people of Rhodes. They had become an important economic port in the ancient world and felt invincible. I don't even know where Rhodes is, do you? It's interesting to note that it stood for less than 50 years. The torch, the crown. Look familiar? 50 years this thing stood, and then it was knocked down by an earthquake. And then it laid there in rubble for 800 years as people came from all over the known world to see its great fall. Got it? Now, let me contrast this with the Statue of Liberty. Here's a Statue of Liberty. This was built by the French. And it wasn't really, it was a gift from the French to us, but it really was meant to wake Europeans out of their system of liberty that was modeled after the Colossus of Rhodes. This was really a thumb in the eye of Europe. But the difference in its stance speaks volumes, and it was meant to. First of all, you'll notice that he's holding arrows and a bow, right? What is she holding? She's holding the tablet of law. If you notice also on her feet, there's the tablet of law. Go to her feet here. Give me a full screen of her. There you go. You notice her feet. She's standing like this, where she's almost on the balls of her feet, and she's moving forward. Her arm and torch is outstretched to the world. She's going this way while she's holding the tablets that signify the law, the Constitution that enables her to move forward and, give me another picture of her feet, please, here, to break free of the chains that the European system had put in place. She's able to move forward. I want to ask you a question. Is this still our stance? Or is this our stance? Whatever. I contend we're not following the law anymore. We haven't broken free. We're not looking at the Constitution anymore. We're forging chains again. The American people have always moved forward. But our government is not moving with us. Let's go through a couple of examples. And this is a question I want you to ask yourself. Did he keep his promise? There's really only one thing that we have that will save us, and that is honor, the truth. The truth shall set you free. That's what I think people were looking for when they said they wanted change in Washington. They wanted somebody just to tell them the truth. Well, let's look at some of these things.
And I agree, which is why this freeze won't take effect until next year, when the economy is stronger.
Okay. A spending freeze also happens to be something that he was against. He attacked McCain during the campaign. Everybody mocked it and ridiculed it. The AP now has pointed out that it will save less than 1% of the predicted deficits over the next 10 years. Let me show you this. We try to make this demonstration with water bottles. Here and underneath the table are 100 water bottles. Okay? There are 17 of the 100 here. He's saying we're going to freeze spending. Well, to you and me, that means they're not going to spend anything. They're going to save all this. Okay. No. This water, that doesn't spend it all. This water is what he's saying we're going to freeze. It doesn't mean you're not going to save it. You're going to spend all of it. You're going to drink all of this water. Okay? But you're not going to be able to get any more water here. We're not going to borrow any more water from any place else. This is gone, but we're not borrowing any more on these. We will or may borrow more here. Got it? Little fuzzy on things, but he's pretty clear on this one. By the way, the estimated savings on the deficit over the next 10 years is this much water. Refreshing, isn't it? Oh, wouldn't it be refreshing to have a little honor or integrity? Or as he would describe it, transparency, because then it would give me what else he described, hope. We have an administration and a country that has been arrogant for a long, long time. But now it has gone so arrogant, it stands with a bow at its side, relaxed, with an attitude of invincibility, holding the torch out so it can see, not so the world can see it. We are becoming the Collosus of Rhodes, not Lady Liberty. And if we don't notice the difference that the French made to tell the Europeans we need to be more like this, if we don't notice the difference between even the stance, our civilization will crumble and lay in ruins for others to study for the next 800 years. Back in a minute.